Hello and welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. You're joined today on Chris on hosting duties today. I'm joined by brother Kwame. How are you doing, Kwame?
Well, it's good to be back, pudding. It's been a long time. We had the winter break, time with loved ones, time with family and friends, it was good and all that. But yeah, back to some F1, there's so much, football can do for me, both American and European. There's so much that tennis can do for me. Hey, I need this motorsport back, man. I need it back.
I'm not gonna lie, I was enjoying my time off watching football, watching tennis. Not American football. My team's ass, but you know, I'm not particularly enthused to come back because it's now I now have to engage in F1 content like quite seriously again, which is never fun. Let's be honest, it's not fun. Like engaging in like I saw a tweet the other day where man was saying Kovalainen was better than Felipe Massa. I'm like, what is going on here, man? What's going on?
What are we doing here, man? Honestly, what are we doing here? Some of these takes. I'm actually glad that I've not seen any of these stupid takes on my TL, man. I think that's probably why I'm happy to be back, because I've somehow disassociated with it. From what I've been seeing, people have actually gone quiet during this time, and also I've actively avoided it. I've got a good break, sort of thing. So now I'm missing that. I want to go back in. So that's a stupid take, man. Oh my goodness.
No. You're happy to be on here on this like safe space of normal takes, or like if someone has a hot take, they have to explain themselves. Like, yeah. Anyway. Before we get into things properly, you mustn't forget to follow us on all socials. Housekeeping. Follow us on all socials. Follow us at Pitstop Fracas on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. We did the interview last week with Stephanie, and it was very well received. And to encourage to do more, make sure to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Help us build the brand here, so more people will want to come on and talk motorsport and talk about their involvement in motorsport with us. So, Kwame, next week the season begins. We're finally back. With a few changes, 11 teams, one brand new driver. So we're going to go through team by team, separating them groups. So let's start with, let's say the traditional Champions League teams, the top 4 teams. Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull. Let's start off with the reigning champions, McLaren. How have you feel? What are your expectations from them? And from what you've gathered, obviously I know you haven't been engaged too much. What have you gathered from like what you've read or seen about their performance and what you expect from them this upcoming season?
Well, I think the main thing next season is that it's not going to be easy for McLaren, in my opinion, just because I feel like a lot of the other teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, have all put their eggs into this Bars game 2026. McLaren, even though they did say that that stopped developing towards the end of the season, last season, I feel like a lot of teams are going to be, they've had more time, I should say, in terms of developing. And we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. I think, they've got 2, strong drivers, both in Norris and Piastri. So I think they'll be there and thereabouts. But I think the competition is just going to be very tight for them this season. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
No, that's fine. I think I'm in agreement with you. I kind of have them. I have them currently in 4th, but they have like a lot of potential to move forward. Where they've got, let's say, probably the second best driver pairing on the grid. and out of all of the top 4 teams, they're the only ones without like their own engine. Like they're a customer engine team, whereas Mercedes powered by Mercedes, Red Bull powered by Red Bull, and Ferrari is Ferrari. So they're the only one where like they're gonna be a little bit behind in the energy side of things. But if one thing you can from the previous generation, one thing you could trust from the Stella-led McLaren team is that they're gonna bring upgrades and they're gonna slap. Like any upgrades they bring, chances are they're gonna slap. So I'm not too mad at it. It's gonna be interesting to see how they basically catch up from their natural deficit. But I'm looking forward to it. How about so who was second? Oh, it was Mercedes that was second last season. So thoughts on Mercedes, the bookies' favorites.
I can't lie. I might have to back with on this one. To be fair with you, I mean, I think the main thing you were saying from before was that obviously you saying the engine's going to be a big thing. Obviously, you saw that last season that even though McLaren were also having Mercedes engine, like I said, they were actually better than Mercedes. But in that sense, it'll be going to be an error. From what I have seen through testing, the small glimpses I've seen of testing, the streets are telling me that George Russell was the guy who was cooking. George Russell was the guy. Also, Kimi Power was doing his thing as well. That you've got to be wary of. Now, I don't think we should take too much from testing because obviously teams are there testing parts of their car. They're not there testing to be like, cool, we're gonna slap it on power. We're gonna stop. They'll leave that to quality. They leave it to the race, all that. But from what I've seen with the gaps, it looked like George time-wise was probably 30. So even though they were, I think, we were taking the first team, quote unquote, 8 attempts. The consistency of the laps that Mercedes pull was something to be reckoned off, to be noticed off. So yeah, I feel like I said, if it's gonna be an engine thing, seeing like their chassis, their cars more built in line with the engine, and hence why I'll put them ahead of McLaren. But again, it's all to play for. But yeah, I'm actually agreeing with bookies here. They're actually my favorite so far, but there's so much more to see, and we have to wait and see.
Oh, don't worry, brother. I didn't watch this into, man. We are employed men. This isn't paying us, and we like to stay employed. Like, what do you mean watching testing, bro? I'm not paid to do this. Oh gosh. Man was scrambling to watch 1 hour of Bahrain testing, brother. Please, man. Let me, have you seen the job market out here in the UK? Myth, man. Let me keep my job. Enjoy my 9 to 5, got real responsibilities out here. But in all seriousness, they do look good. Mercedes look quietly confident. You know when people are walking around with a step of like, yeah, I got this, like I got this. That's the energy that George has been giving the entire time. From what I've been able to follow from podcasts and articles and so on, you just get a quiet confidence behind the Mercedes guys. So they feel ready in terms of as of right now, but obviously these things can and will change. And then in third place last year was Ferrari, if I'm correct. So Kwame, thoughts on the Italian team, the team in red?
Sorry, can't go back to Mercedes as well. There's one thing because he said about Georgia saying he's quite confident on podcast. Yeah, and he was the quite confidence going around. Georgia's driver, I feel like when stuff's not going well, he'll complain and you'll see him get annoyed as well. I've not got that sense. And also Toto, yeah, on the preseason. That's the one thing I've been hearing, but this guy's been trying to double down. This guy's been trying to say, we're not it. We're struggling. Look at Red Bull. He'll get onto But I feel like he's trying to double bluff, man. I can't lie. I feel like he's trying to double bluff. I don't believe that man one bit. From the times I see him, leading the team with Lewis, saying all these things, I'm like, I don't believe this guy one bit. So everything that he says, I'm a be the opposite. So
I half agree with you with Total Wolf, but I think there's some truth in his words, but it's linked to another team, and I will explain why in a second. Why he isn't completely lying, but he's not telling the truth either. But he's not that. It's like a weird thing he's doing. He's doing underdog gimmick, man. You know how everyone is cowards these days, man. No one's better. No one's there going to say, yeah, we are the best, we are the fastest. Let's get on with things. It's always, I'm not sure. But you know, we move.
But yeah, no, back in Ferrari though. I feel like they're the team out of all the top dogs, as we like to call it, Champions League guys. I feel like they've got the most to prove. I feel like last season was a year where, we had a lot of high hopes. Lewis coming to the team, Charles being Charles, who's always there, but hasn't had anything. And last season, I feel like they kind of failed to deliver. How can you, peak in China and then they just go from there? But hey, the streets, like I said earlier, Charles was the fastest outright driver during the testing. They've had some new designs coming as well. So the chassis department is cooking. But at the same time, I can't lie, Ferrari, man. So in this recent generation, I know the other team once, but in this generation, quote unquote, they've always kind of fell off mark in it. And I want to be proven wrong because I want my boy Lewis to get the 8th. I want Charles to prove the masses wrong. I'm not actually a hater of any of these drivers in these top teams because I couldn't really care less. I'm not back around these guys either. But there's something in me. I'm just there like, I think guys will be there. I think you guys have improved. I think guys got good foundation. But for whatever reason, I don't think you will be the winning team at the end of the season. But I think you'll be close enough.
But the thing is, I would say this is a new generation. Everything is new. Like everything's different. It's a new generation. None of the ground effect nonsense. Actually, well, there's some ground effect in the cars, but not to the same extent. And I'm a backer of the team. I have a disdain for one driver's fans, which makes me rejoice in his suffering. But I'm just there going, the vibes are good. Like they're just quietly confident and they're quietly happy. So I'm not overly mad. And I think it's a promising start, but it's all about the development race, which is the unknown with Ferrari, where they can do some good developments, but they have a tendency to make a mistake somewhere. But again, new regs, so everything's different now. We don't know what's gonna happen, but I am quietly like I'm happy with where they seem to be. They seem to be in. It's not like 2014 where they're all over the place. They know where they are. They basically got the engine ready for the Barcelona test. They went to Bahrain and said, we're going to put bits and pieces on the car and the car's going to get better and better. And it's like, we've gone from a very basic car in Barcelona and the first Bahrain edition to very advanced additions put on the car ready for Australia. So I can't complain too much about them. And they seemingly have started getting on top of things. So quietly confident. And also the car is a rocket ship off the start. So I'm not be mad, If we end up in another era where we can't overtake, having a rocket ship off the line is going to be key. Because it could put you P1, P2, and then it's just defend the rest of the way. But so, yeah, I'm not mad at it. And then the fourth team, Red Bull. Thoughts on them, with their first new engine.
I think Red Bull will be the surprise package, or one of the surprise packages of this season, in the sense of. So for me, when they changed obviously to go down these Red Bull Ford engines, I didn't have high hopes. More so because of Ford's record in F1, their previous time the engine powers on the Kozlov days. So this would have been like the Jaguar era before the man sold off Williams, all them teams there. and they were just a 2-pack of mid back then. So it's not like a thing where like Audi come in who are new and they've got this big manufacturer behind them. Even though Ford have that, they've already been in the sport now in recent enough years to the point where it's like it just didn't work. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes on there. However, they still got Mats who can always pull out something. Hadji had a good rookie season last season as well on the racing balls. They were looking decent as well from also on testing, but the underdog gimmick from what I saw was quite big because from my understanding, obviously them racing balls, same engine, but they were on different what strategies you want to call it. The racing balls were doing more on the engine side and having so I feel like we'll see more with Red Bull later on. But yeah, I think for now, just watch out for them because they've always been a good team, like chassis wise, aerodynamically wise. The engines are unpackaged, so we don't know how that's going to be.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So with Red Bull, and here's where I think where Mr. Wolf wasn't lying too much is I think Red Bull, from what I saw, was that they were like the fastest to get on top of things. So maybe they'll have the ultimate potential, but like if it's plug in and play, they seem to be like very much on top of it. So it'll be interesting to see like in maybe not necessarily Australia, but China, where it's a sprint weekend, where the other team might have to take 2-3 practice sessions to dial it in. These men are like, bang, we're good off the jump. I think that's where they're gonna separate themselves potentially, and I think they've done a good job. Hiring all that Honda, Mercedes stuff paid off. Is like they didn't come in on a vibes thing. Like they said we're building an engine company and hired the best people. They hired the Mercedes stuff. They hired the Honda stuff. They went out there and said, "Yo, we're gonna do it." And I also, one thing I have to mention is it's gonna be very interesting with Verstappen and Hadjar, because obviously Verstappen's gonna be an interesting guy because of his motivation, because the way he's talking, man, I don't know, man.
What did you say about the cars? He's comparing it to what, Formula E on steroids, whatever he said.
See, the thing is, the moaning about the car is one thing, and that's fine. And this is like a gripe I have with the internet as well. Because all the drivers have moaned about the cars and they're lifting and coasting and they're clipping. They've all moaned about it. Where Verstappen is different is that he's turned and said, I don't mind quitting because of this. He's like, I don't mind retiring, quitting, leaving the sport because if this is how we have to drive. And I feel like because he said that, other drivers, the terrible twosome in Russell and Norris have turned around and basically said, if you want to go to the loop, bye-bye, we'll see you whenever, go to the North Slifer, retire from the sport. We do not care. Like, feel free, because we all don't like these cars, but like Russell's turning around and said, I got a world championship I need to win. You've won multiple world championships. You don't have to be here no more. And I feel like that's been lost in translation on the internet and stuff. Where like people just turned around and said, none of us like these cars. But if you're talking about leaving, just go. Don't threaten it. Do it. Like, be a man of action, not a man of words. And I, for one, support that, Go be a family man. It's okay. But hey ho. And then Hajar, just good luck, bro. It's a new generation.
You got nothing more to say than just good luck.
Yeah, man. He's got the Pitstop Fracas blessing, bro. He's good, man.
Yes.
He's good, man. All right. Now we move on to your domain, Kwame. The mid pack. So we're gonna start. I don't know. We'll start with your team because it's your team. Alpine. You got rid of Viri. You're getting rid of Vec. It's just now just the it's just basically end stone. Flavio's leading the team. Another season of Colopinto and Gasly. What are your expectations? How are you guys feeling?
It's better work out, man. It's better work out. As you can see, I've got the jacket here. This is our year. This is our year. But now I feel like we're on the rise, man.
What?
I feel like this is our year in the sense of we're not finishing last. And that's because of Cadillac defaulting. I feel like we're actually going to make some progress. Switching to the Mercedes, power unit, I think it's a big help. They're quote unquote the fastest engine out there. I feel like there's been a lot of it's a lot of the whole venture capital stuff of you're selling this stuff, you're selling that stuff, but you're focusing on the team, you're focusing on the car, so on the car on F1, and for us we're focusing mainly on the car that we've got, and I feel like all the backlog we've had of let's wait to 2026. I think I'm expecting us to get points on the regular. I'm expecting us to get between 7 to 10. I expect us to be that, part of the pack. I expect us to be with the Hasses of this world, which we'll get into. We're ahead of it. Again, we're behind obviously the McLaren Mercedes, but we're ahead of Williams. So we're not the worst Mercedes team either as well. We're not the worst team in the grid we were last season 2, if you want to debate. From what I've seen, from what I've read, our pace seems to be decent. We're not blowing up as we were last couple of years. Every day that's mag engine, every day, power unit issues. That's not happening. So the reliability has gone up. We're getting the mileage which we need in testing. That shows consistency. I'm confident, but I don't think the gap from where we were to get to the top is obviously too big. But firmly in the mid pack, we're back home, man. We're back home. And then from here, kind of season, I want to see improvements to be where we were on the lowest. So getting them young podiums here and there, challenge tournaments here and there, depending on the circuit. But for right now, I'll take the mid pack as a fan. It's been a long way, but I need consistent points, man. Otherwise, I'm looking at someone funny. I need the list to be exposed again. They're not half of it yet. I need to expose the other half soon. And I need that man gone. That man gone.
Good. It's funny because I was part of my winter break was watching the Benetton documentary. Formation of Team Enstone and so on and so forth. And obviously, the role he played quite an integral role in their way up to the top. And it also turned out that for him to come back, he said, "I want Mercedes engines. I don't want Renault ones. Otherwise, I'm not coming back." So this was all for him to come back and be at the brains. So it's gonna be interesting, It's gonna be interesting to see how long Colapinto lasts and what guys he can do. You guys are just there. You're on the grid. We'll see you around. It won't be like last season where you guys were awful, or the season before where you guys were just funny. You guys just show up. So it is what it is. Okay, we go on to your main rivals. What are they even called these days? Is it TGR Haas Racing?
Oh yeah, no, I saw it's Kazoo TGR Haas. What's a Kazoo? I mean Gazoo. Sorry.
I think what's Kazoo? Is it Kazoo like the drink?
Nah, yeah, Kazoo the drink.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we got Haas. Now, This is an interesting team because I'm going first on this one because I have investments into the drivers in the team. They look competent, which is all you need to do. They just haven't done anything stupid. So I want another year of Behrman, lock in, no mistakes. You got 10 penalty points already, so like you're on warning, and then Ocon just up the levels. Just basically like Behrman's better than you, and that's fine. Just don't disgrace yourself. Like that's all I'm asking. Be the Ocon that had Alonso rattled in 2022. That's all I ask for you. Be that guy. But then also just carry on doing their thing, man. They're just a competent Formula 1 team, and they just look competent. So there's not much really to say. Like Haas are Haas, isn't it? You got anything on them?
On Haas, not really to be fair with you. I try to keep it short actually. But I feel like where this team were under Gunter to now where they are under Io Gamitsa. It's night and day. I can't lie. It's night and day. This was the same Haas team that was struggling right at the back. Now look at them. They were a competent mid-table team. Basically, what we are, Alpine is the Mercedes version. They're the Ferrari version, pretty much. And they've even got the backing now of Toyota as well, there as well. So we'll see where they're at. But I feel like them two will be the team that battle for like the last of the points, I'll say.
Hey, I told everyone about Gunter. Now his MotoGP team is not looking good, bro. Man's talking about the bike is good. No. The factory team has Pedro Acosta. You don't have a driver of that caliber. You don't have a rider of that caliber. Just relax. But anyway, that's that. We're not a MotoGP podcast. But anyway, I just have to get my hate off. But yeah, good riddance, man. We can move on to the next team in the mid-pack. The new team. Well, one of the new teams. The rebranded team. The reason why we have these engines. Audi. Thoughts on Audi, your boy driving for them?
I think the thing with Audi is people forget these men are just Sauber but rebranded. Bear this in mind. The Sauber with a silver livery, right? So don't expect these men to be, if you're new to the sport, you see Audi, think, what? Don't expect them to be, out of the back. They still got James Key as a technical director as well, by the way. So that's another guy. I've not forgotten all these years. That's another guy that's still on Ford Watch. But we'll wait and see, man. I got a feeling they're going to be a team that's going to be upgrading throughout the season. That's one thing that Sauber in the past has been pretty bad at, as they've been an independent team majority of the time. Somewhat independent team. But yeah, they've always been struggling to upgrade. So I think even though they'll start poorly and they'll start, probably like Q2 and qualifying and whatnot, I feel like they will improve. Similar to did last year actually as well. Last year they were at the back. The start season, the TD came in and then they were getting points here and there. For the team wise, Hulkenberg just be steady Eddie. I think that's what he meant to do this job, warm up that seat for what's later and just be that, experienced head around the team. Bortoletto, I need to see more consistency from him. There were some races where he was doing his thing, some races where he wasn't. So I feel like now in the second season, I want that more, you're not rookie no more. You're not rookie no more. You can't be making those rookie mistakes. You can't be getting the, like in Brazil, the fan pressure into your head. Now in the second season, you got to be getting the points. You can't be bidding it. You can't be just going flat out into someone in Brazil. So little things like that, man. And but yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how they develop the car now with this Audi revenue money. So that's all.
No, fair. I'm here now. I'm thinking, Bonotto got something for us, man. But Bonotto, he's got something, man. I'm telling you, Bonotto and Wheatley, bro, they got something for us. Like, Their upgrade plan has come to forth. The car's been running. Like obviously, it's been having difficulties, whatever. But the car's on track. It's running, and apparently on the last day they did some really good running as well. So I'm here going with all the upgrades that's coming along. They've got something, and I think just feel like they're just a competent organization. Like you know how Red Bull went and hired the Mercedes and Honda engineers. But no turn up an Audi said this is a mess and just got the band back together from Ferrari. Got some of the guys from Ferrari and said, bro, we're going Germany, we're going Switzerland. Let's get this show on the road. So I feel quietly, confident in Audi. I feel this. It just feels competent. It just feels like they're meeting their targets. So I'm not too mad at it. And again, I expect development from Bortoleto and Hockenberg. Like I personally don't want to see him around, but it's not up to me. So just get the job done. And then the second last of the mid pack, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls with your dog, Liam Lawson. And everyone's favorite, the guy with a top 5 radio call in history leading the team, Alan Permain. Hey, man.
The worst thing as well is that was also one of my guys as well, man. I'm busy, man. That's the reason why I support this team, man. Anyway, V-Carb, Racing Bulls. I can't remember my start name for them. Actually, not Rather than Ball and Sport, OnlyFans F1 team, whatever they're called. Hey, them man, they are mid, right? They are family mid. So you see how you said how Haas competent, Alpine on the road to be competent but not competent, Audi competent but obviously they've had a struggle. Racing Bulls to me, it's not they're not competent or incompetent, but they're just mid. If you know what I mean, they're just meh. They're just there sort of thing. It's a car that they complain to be tricky to drive. As always a car they try to experiment. We'll see how they do with the engine side of things. But I feel like this season is mainly on the drivers. To be fair, I've got no expectation of how the car will be as they are the second team to Red Bull. Lawson, you've got to stand up, man. This is your make or break here. I can't lie, man. I'm not the only guy who hates this guy, so I feel like if I'm dead, then there's no fans of it, so no one really cares. But my point is, bro, you've got to step up. You've got Arvid Lindbergh coming in. He's been the son Al-Gib of the Red Bull Academy, the chosen one. You've had Yuki just got sacked for Hadja for that seat. Hadja, first was better than you last season. You can't have another who can now beat you as well. Otherwise,
I'll be there.
And that's fine. I don't mind that. But, bro, it's either that, then your F1 career is done. Back to IndyCar, man. You know, with the fellow Kiwi guy there as well, man. You've make a break. And Lindblad, for me, just be with Lawson. I feel like for me, like rookie first season, I want to see some good finish that's like a P5 or P6 once or twice, but apart from that, just be on par with your teammate, be your teammate, and I think that'd be enough to get the she's recognizing. Get some good qualities in as well. A Q3 here and there, again, like a top points here and there, but I feel like he just needs to just stand out from his team and he'll be fine. As you all know, that Red Bull seat is take a time bomb. Either Max wants to quit or Hadji doesn't step up the mark. So yeah.
And I see, as a back of Lindblad, who's backed him for a couple of years now, I need him to do well because there's some stuff I want to get off. I want to get off. For example, Lindblad's born in 2007. That first, Alonso's been out qualified by a guy who was born after he won his world championships tweet. Ooh! Ooh! I need that. I need that. So I need him to do well. It'll be important for him to do well because, British driver bias, and also the fact that he does represent India quite well, and it'd be good to get their engagement and people from there investing in the sport further. So he's one where I believe in the talent. I believe there's talent in there. I think he's just the case of he just needs to just lock in for entire season. It's a bit weird where he starts really well, then tails off. So for him, it's a lot of energy control, and because it's a long season, 24 races. So just lock in, show your talent, and we will be, watching along. And then with the car's a car, and it's just gonna be in the midfield somewhere. Just hoop, show your moves, show tough racing, give people a headache. Fairly, but like give them a headache. And then other than that, who cares, man? They're like we know that they're top one in terms of TikToks and IG reels, so they can have fun with that. And then on the last team in the mid pack, I have to add Williams. Obviously they missed the initial shakedown. This was the season that James Vowles was talking about, as in we gotta win. We put everything into this season. They signed Carlos Sainz for this season. So I have to, get it out there and be like, so far it's not been a good start. They're behind. They're not where we want them to be. And it's kind of like, this is time for James Vowles to be like, are you a real team principal or are you a snake oil salesman? Like, this is it. Like, this is the time where, like, this is your team, your people, your processes. I need to see something. So, Kwame, thoughts on Williams?
Well, like you said, brother, these men were late for the shakedown because they were fat, pretty much. That's basically why they missed it, man. They said the car was heavy, was over the limit, and it was failing like crash tests as well, which is never a good sign when you miss the shakedown and your car is just big. And we've had the issue in previous years where that's why a lot of the cars had to go.
So you're telling me, yeah, they couldn't get no Ozempic or Manjaro for the car, like
no injection, no surgery, no lipo. They couldn't get any of that in time. In the end, I mean, they did pretty much, but again, the car still it's basically that's a sacrifice part of the car for them to get it in the weight restriction, which it's never a good sign. Like if they were managed to again, go gym, do a bit of cardio. If not that, they could have done the Monjaro or the Ozempic thing first. They became can't, but their man had to go to the full surgery, take things out. So because of that, now the car is much more heavier to turn. Aerodynamically, it's not as slick. So, and you know what as well? There's two guys here who I think we might have to look at. Right? We might have to look at. Right? Shout out Pat Fry and shout out Matt Harmon. Both these guys were at Alpine when we were struggling with our Barbosa car. They were both there, right? So now we're following 4 years later. Questions we have to be asked. But no, like I said, like there was a lot of hope for Williams. They ended last year quite well. Again, you've got Carlos Sainz, who's a multiple time race winner. They've got Albon, who we all know is a competent driver. So the driver lineup is a very good lineup. I'd say better than all the teams have been for, in my opinion. So they've got a good lineup. And even though they got the car in the end to testing and they've still got the Mercedes engine, it is underwhelming in the sense of how there was a lot of high hopes for this year. You got James Valsu. I'll be honest, I've never seen the light with Mr. Alphabet, but shout him, please, God bless him. So I hope he does well. But
hey, we're working that one out. We're seeing if it applies to team principles or not. We're working that one out. Yeah, like drivers, yeah, cool. Team principles, I don't know, bro. Because we perform miracles with drivers, bro. Joe got points. I don't think people understand that. Yeah, he got a point. Like we ran into Salma had 0 points. He ran into him, man, and he got points that weekend. That's powerful.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. Yeah, with Williams, I'll wait and see, man, how it goes this season. I can imagine them improving as the season goes, but I can imagine them starting very poorly, probably struggling to get into Q2 and quali. But I guess over the year goes towards the end. If they are who they say they are, if they are, again, I know that their backing is. Yeah, anyways, I like to think they'll win by the end of the season. And also another thing as well, I find it funny how the ex-team principal, you know, their hair, she's now on the podcast again talking. And she's not backing these man, she's backing a Mercedes. I'll leave that for you guys to judge, but yeah, it's not a good team.
What, Claire?
Yeah, she's back on another pod, man.
So. No. Yeah, but that's because she's there going, she was there. She's one of those Brussels sprouts, bro. She don't care about the rest of the man. He's like, he's Santander's and Albon and them, man. Get out of here, bro. So, yeah, that's actually another thing. The drivers, yeah. This season, between the two drivers, we're gonna learn that who's better, because obviously Albon, like Sainz getting those two, like people, Albon got more points. But Sainz getting those 2 podiums meant more. It meant more. Like, I was there in the streets when Sainz got that podium in Baku. That was real motion. I was unfamiliar with your game, big bro. You got a bit of motion. Albon, they're not having a drink up because of your work, bro. Your garage they're parched, brother. They're parched. You know when little kids play outside, yeah, and they get the cup and they're like, That's Albon. That's Albon's team, bro. They need water, bro. Need drink. Go get that champagne, bro. It's time to get another podium for Williams, bro. But anyway, with that, that's the end of the bid pack. And now we're going to the back markers. Now, there's a certain man from Liverpool, which I'd love to be here. I'd love to give him, you know, is it inquisition about the state of this team, the team from Silverstone. You know, the team that went and signed the greatest designer in Formula One history. The team that went and got Honda engines. Aston Martin. The team with the 2-time world champion. Admittedly, he was world champion when we were both in primary school. We are grown men right now. But it's a 2-time world champion. Aston Martin. Brother, you take the lead with this. I'll come back. What were your thoughts on Aston Martin and expectations of Aston Martins? I've seen the nonsense they've been up to.
But where do you start, man? They're just cooked, man. I find they're just cooked. There's been a lot of high hopes with them. You had also they got Newey came in the season, one of the best designers in Formula 1 of all time. He's now pretty much the team principal. So he came in originally as a designer, right? And then he came in and he's like, Mr. Cow, crack. All of you lot who were here, you lot are not, you don't need to go, right? So pretty much, that's pretty much the whole kind of managerial side of Aston Martin. Dorman, he became team principal. It's interesting because Newey, for my whole time with F1, I've never known him to wanted to be team principal. So I'm not sure if it's a thing where, you know, Lawrence had me bus schools, or if it's a thing where, you know, the money is too good to turn down, or he generally thought that, cool, I've got to take charges because these men are not it for my liking. But that to me was the first sign of, okay, we'll wait and see. Is this a what's born thing in design in disguise? where you are now the main guy, and you get them to where they need to be, or is it a thing of we need to start again, right? So
Hey,
that happened, right?
all I'm saying, yeah, is if these man don't win if they don't win a championship this season, next season, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, in the like the Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore in the history books, whatever Formula One, I might have to put Ross Broad ahead of Newey, man. I might have to do it. I might have to do it. In Formula One minds, he might go above. If Aston Martin don't make something shake, ooh, might have to be done. Don't blame me. But yeah, I just think he walked into a mess, and I think he wanted control of certain things. He said like the budget, he probably wanted more budget for the car, wasn't gonna get it, and then just they fobbed off Andy Cowell and them, and it's everyone's surprised that Andy Cowell got sacked. I'm not. When you're team principal and you get demoted, he's going to be fired. He was always going to be fired, bro. It's like when Mercedes swapped James Allison and Mike Elliott, bruv. You knew Mike Elliott was fired. It was over him. Dan Fallows was technical director. Then Newey came along. You're getting fired, bro. Don't ever get confused. When someone's coming to do your job, you're on your way out. Is that when Ramsdale did that interview? He's like, "Oh, who's this then? What's going on here?" Bro, it's over for you. Just accept it and keep it pushing. But yeah, I'm waiting for next week. Because if next week I see a Honda engine blow up, I'm buying Honda merch. Because screwing over Alonso again, unbelievable work. The power of dreams. They call it the power of dreams. They're filling my dreams. I'm so happy. People understand the whole hype. Oh, the Honda engines. And it's turned to be a disaster. Oh my God.
But you know what, though, in hindsight, though, I feel like Honda, every time they have a new Rex, that man always just think how they doing from the beginning.
No. There's actually a logical reason behind this. Basically, all of the staff left. So all of the good stuff that they've built up and trade, they've all gone. So they just have to hire new staff and start again. And a year late. So it's kind of like, it kind of makes sense. But unfortunately, you're dealing with Adrian Newey, who makes these super tight cars and super tight engines. So you don't have last time with Red Bull, they had time and they had a year off with Toro Rosso to fix everything. They don't have this time now. There's only one car it's going into. If they had Cadillac, cool, you can make something shake. But they don't have Cadillac. So you gotta make it work in Newey's parameters. Or Newey's got to compromise. And that's always gonna be fun. So hey, have fun, Richard. I know, bro, you're not watching Liverpool, bro. So you're free to come on the pod. Don't worry, bro. We'll see you soon.
And what Shaw was saying, 4 seconds as well off the top teams as well, man. So unless they can cut that time off quickly, or if it's just testing hype, it's not looking good for them either, man.
Yeah. Although it is funny, man. George Stroll and George Russell hating each other. Last Stroll and George Russell hating each other is one of the funniest subplots I've ever seen in Formula One. Hey ho. And then on to the last team, the newest team. The teams that driver lineup had me being very upset. Cadillac. Thoughts on Cadillac?
So, they're a new team in it, so they're going to be off the pace, unfortunately. I know I'll say them saying that we're better than we thought. We're not as bad. We're not dead sort of thing. They're 3 seconds off the pace, I was saying. So and they were like, "We've got the mileage. You know, we're reliable. We're reliable. We're having niggling problems here and there, but we know what we're doing, how to solve sort of things." So their thing is more of like, let's just get on the grid. You know, we've got testing. We're now on course to get to Australia. These staff will improve over time, and yeah, it's them being a new back marker. Like they're gonna have struggles. They're a new team, but it's more of how they go from here. Not a thing where like they're asked, like, you know, like an HRT or Caterham or a Virgin or that sort of thing. But like, remember when Haas started off, they were slow, but certain days they were competent to get points.
No, they got points on the first attempt, bro.
First time, yeah, right, yeah, P5, yeah. But yeah, basically, my chance to say is though that they'll be back on the field, but they won't be dead lost. They'll be eyes sort of thing. They'll hold it on sort of thing. They'll hold it on, but they're the slowest team by far, but they'll hold it on. That's how I see them happening. And then years they might improve in it.
No, that makes sense. I'm trying to think. There's nothing really else about them. They just look competent, and you know, just as long as they keep on improving, I see no issue. And good luck to them. Okay, one last bit before we go. Do you have any hot takes? Any like random shouts? Anything you sit there and go, "Oh, I got this one for over the season."
Any hot takes? We'll get a podium this year. We'll get a podium. We'll get one podium. Let's go.
Okay. Ooh. I actually couldn't. I know what. Yeah. Audi will be the team, be the midfield team that'll get a podium this season. It'll be them. They'll be the one that'll randomly have a random cook session one weekend and then get a podium. That's my hot take. But anything else you want to add before the season begins?
Nothing to add, man. Yeah, nothing further to add. I think it'll be a good year of racing. You know, it'll be interesting to see how, you know, teams progress and, you know, who's at the top. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the season.
I got one little mini rant thing to go in. Guys, on the internet, can we please take a touch? Like, let's show some composure this season. Not like if you see a name pop up on your screen, don't go into uber defensive mode, don't go into uber offensive mode. Just sit there and just go, read what was said, try to find the full quote of what was said, and then make a form of thought from there. Let's take a touch, guys. You know, there's been too much, you know, hyper reaction, and it's just it's jarring. And as someone who has to, like, when I log onto that account, I have to read some of this stuff. And yeah, so let's take a touch and try to enjoy this season. And there's gonna be some awkward teething problems, but we'll see how if it plays out months later. We'll know by summertime what's going on. So one last time, make sure to follow us on all socials, PitstopFracas on Twitter/X, on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're on the one banner. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, give us 5-star reviews on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to on. I want to once again thank Kwame for joining me this evening, and we'll see you again next week. Take care and peace.